The PlayStation 5 is revealed. Spider-Man Miles Morales, Resident Evil 8, Horizon Forbidden West. This is a hell of a show on the Sidescape Game Report. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sidescape Game Report for the week of June 8th to June 12th. This is James St. Charles and I'm Jake Burke, and we've got a PlayStation-packed show for you this week. Before we get to any of the news, before we talk about the PlayStation 5 reveal, which was awesome, we're going to do a quick reveals and updates because there was a few news stories that happened before the event that happened a few hours ago. Crosscode will be available digitally July 9th, 2020 on Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 4. Additionally, a physical release of Crosscode for PS4 and Switch arrives August 28th. So you've played Crosscode. Any recommendations?
I was reading Jason Schreier's Twitter, and he was talking about how great Crosscode is, and how he also hasn't beaten it. And I really need to get back to it and beat it. We were talking about I was just checking his Twitter. People were like, "Yeah, you got to go back and play." He's like, "Oh well, Switch is perfect for it." And I was telling you, I think about it, how Switch was perfect for it. Like this, it's that platform. Like you're gonna play hours. He had like 50 hours into it.
Okay.
I feel like I didn't have that much, but
it's that
didn't
long.
Didn't even beat it with 50 hours. So that tells you he really enjoyed it.
Yeah. No, I definitely. It's a game I've been on my radar.
Really fun game.
I'm pretty sure it's free on Game Pass, but now I have a glitch on my Game Pass where I can't get it. I can only buy it, so I don't know what's going on there. But I do really want to play it. Mm-hmm. And then Bungie announced Destiny 2's next 3 expansions. The reveal stream started with an 8-minute and 46-second moment of silence for George Floyd, highlighting charities to donate to, which I don't know if you had a chance to watch the actual stream, but it was really powerful to as it booted up, it just said 8 minutes, 46 seconds, and then just nothing. And then just talked about charities, just kind of in text. But what Destiny announced was actually kind of interesting. Beyond Light is their next expansion that will arrive September 22nd. But this is where things get really interesting, because you're thinking Destiny 2. There's got to be a Destiny 3, James. The Witch King will arrive in 2021, and Lightfall, which is a working title, will arrive in 2022. So we're not getting another Destiny game for a while, which is really cool that Bungie is able to take this game as far as they want to take it.
I feel like if they weren't Bungie, like if they were still under Activision, there would be more Destinies, they wouldn't be. But they really are grabbing hold of Destiny 2 and kind of shaping it to their own with these expansions. Community's so diehard. Like they have one of the most dedicated communities around. Like they are fully with Destiny. Destiny was fun when I first played a little bit. It got a little stale, but I like the expansions. When there's something new, it's fun. Yeah,
and they were talking a lot about too. Destiny's such a bloated game, and we're having this problem with Call of Duty Warzone right now, where the file is now 200 gigabytes. I don't know if you knew this.
I deleted it. Virus. It's a virus.
Yeah, it's insane. If you have an original PlayStation 4, that game takes up half your hard drive. Just think about that.
It's insane.
Yeah. So Destiny, basically, they were talking on their stream that they have so much content in Destiny 2 now that it's overwhelming. So they're going to start curating stuff out and having basically a vault where they'll bring content out and in, which is a really great idea, I think. Mm-hmm. And also, speaking of Jason Schreier, he did tweet something during the reveal and saying, the 2022 project would have been Destiny 3 if they were still with Activision. So it's that's kind of interesting. A little just fun update for myself. Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2, will run on Unreal Engine 5. I'm just very excited for that game. So anytime there's an announcement about it, you'll hear it here.
Yep. You'll be the guy.
And then Remedy Entertainment just tweeted out recently, we're glad to be able to share that Control will be coming to PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. More details coming at a later date.
So, awesome.
Yeah, just tweeted out. There. Right? Actual ray tracing on console?
Yep. It's going to be good.
Now, James, drum roll, please. The PlayStation 5 reveal. Broad strokes, what did you think of Sony unveiling the next generation of PlayStation?
They teased us a lot, but the way the show flowed. The show flowed. It was beautiful. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what I was expecting for this kind of summer of games sort of reveals. Just huge trailer, reveal, trailer, commentary. Boom, perfect. That's all you have to do. You don't need the physical events for this kind of thing, which is awesome.
Right, and what I loved about this event too is they've already done the tech specs and everything, so they didn't have to go through the teraflops in the machine and the gigamajigs and stuff. They were just focusing on here's what you're gonna play. And
you know what? They didn't mention teraflops at one time.
Thank God.
Great.
They said ray tracing 45 times. Tracing, yeah. But I thought it was a great event for me personally, just showing these kind of crazy reveals and we'll get to all the games, but starting the show off with Spider-Man Miles Morales,
Well, technically GTA was a start, but
right, which was a weird start, but really the start of the show. You're right. GTA, they did announce that it's coming.
Hey,
GTA
guess
5.
what? This game's still coming.
And I said something while we watched the stream, but that game has now been on PS3, PS4, and PS5. It launched on PS3.
It won't die.
No, it never will. But yes, I think it's just kind of the bangers that they kind of brought out was really interesting.
But Spider-Man right at the bat, that's ooh.
So my prediction is that's not Spider-Man 2. Like,
no, it seems like a separate game, but it looked similar in the sense that it looked like it built off the first game, like how good it looked.
I'm wondering if we're getting a Spider-Man 2 in a year or two still, and this is going to be like a smaller experience. Like maybe it is 10 or something, because it looks like it's a launch game.
Yes.
So I'm wondering if it's like a kind of a Uncharted Lost Legacy or like a Ratchet and Clank, the original one that made in 2016, kind of like it's a smaller experience that shows off the hardware, shows off the tech, and 2 is coming.
I could see that.
I don't know. It just seems interesting that so shortly after,
maybe like an interlude or like a different universe kind of thing.
Yeah. Or I think it's the same universe because obviously it's the same Miles, but having like almost like a side story about him, and then both of them will merge together for 2. We'll see. We will see. What is your opinion on the actual box that they unveiled? This white box with fins.
Yes. I was reading all the people's reactions, and they're overreacting, but it's fine. It's literally just the same box that they've always built, just with fins. It looks like it has really good cooling, which is fine. I was gonna say,
it's got a lot of ventilation.
Yeah, it has a lot of ventilation because it probably has a lot of hardware in there that's pushing out like really top tier stuff. So they're not skimping on that, which is great.
Yeah, well, I think they're trying to avoid the fact that sometimes my PlayStation 4 sounds like a jet engine, and they are really trying to avoid that for hours.
Yeah, so it's gonna have really good ventilation. It looks like, and there's the option between the digital and the one with the Blu-ray player. I love that.
Yes,
that's like those decisions that define like, okay, maybe I can't afford the Blu-ray, or do I need the Blu-ray player? I'm just a digital person. I could just get the digital.
I'm wondering, they didn't unveil the specs of the hard drives. I'm wondering if the digital one is either bigger or smaller, right?
Could be.
Yeah.
And then again, you save more money.
Yeah, right.
So if you're someone who doesn't want to spend the price, which I don't know what the price is, we still don't know. But
my guess is with 2 editions that the Blu-ray player one is going to be $600.
I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think the non-Blu-ray?
That's what I'm curious. If the hard drive is the same, just there's no disk drive, I think it's $500. I think if there is a smaller hard drive, maybe it's $400. Maybe it's a 500 gigabyte PlayStation 5.
Then that I think like moves people to maybe more towards digital, because they'll think, do I need it? That being said, you want a better SSD if they have that kind of option. Right. That's the whole point. These games are like running with the best SSD to no loading times and all that. So.
And we saw a lot of that in the gameplay sections that we saw on kind of the higher profile games, especially Ratchet and Clank. So let's we'll go through each game. Do you have anything to say on the game? We'll discuss it as we kind of go through the list. Obviously, Grand Theft Auto 5 is back. It's expanded and enhanced for Rockstar Games.
Oh wait, you get $1 million every month now.
Yeah, and if you are playing on PS4 right now, you get $1 million in-game bucks. But also, it's free for everyone for the first 3 months if you have PlayStation Plus and a PS5.
Yes,
which I thought that was cool.
That's cool.
Yeah. And it comes out 2021 sometime. So it's not a launch game, but it's coming out 2021. Now, like we talked about Spider-Man, Miles Morales, we kind of already touched about it, from Insomniac Games, and it's coming out holiday 2020, most likely launch is my guess. Weird that they didn't say launch. Maybe because we don't know the date. I don't know. I just thought that was kind of weird.
I don't mind them not using, I don't think they used launched one time. They just put the date near when it's going to launch, basically, which is fine.
Which is fine. Gran Turismo 7, which looked just stunning.
Clean.
Yeah.
That's a clean racing game.
I mean, talk about ray tracing to the max of here's all the light and how reflections work. And obviously we're going to see so much of that just...
Yeah, very shiny game. Also, the gameplay of it was really nice. Like, ooh, man, I was immersed.
Yeah, and our little racing expert friend Gunnar popped in. And he said that map was actually from the original Gran Turismo.
That's how you know really cool. He's a Gran Turismo gear knowing that.
He was like, I know this exact course. I was like, oh my. Yeah, like I get it. I know a Wario station from or Waluigi track.
I'll name you some Halo maps. That's
it. Yeah, right. And then we got Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart from Insomniac as well. 2 Insomniac games with a no release date. But what do you think of Rift Apart?
I like the gameplay aspect of it. Yes. That was a little cool thing that they're just demoing like what you can do. The Rift mechanic, like teleporting to like the area. Interesting. And the fighting was kind of like different from Ratchet & Clank. Like it didn't look as cartoony. It kind of looked more Gears-esque for me.
Yeah, it kind of did.
It was like, ooh.
A little, not as loose, I think. Like very like almost precision shooting. And what really stunned me, I mean, obviously in this game of Ratchet & Clank, you're now grappling to these rifts and going, like teleporting in areas, which showing off that SSD, like instant transition, right?
Boom. Yeah. Download. Yeah.
But then also and we're watching this not in 4K and not at 60 frames, which I'm sure this game is going to be 4K 60 frames.
Yeah. But we did see like that one scene when they were in the courtyard with there's so many types of particles and colors, and it was all like perfect, which is that's intense.
I mean, when he blew up one of the robot men and all the parts flew out there, but he also hit a bush and all the bush particles flew, and his gun, it was like...
And it didn't slow down whatsoever. Yeah. So usually you would see like some slowdown, but no.
That was very impressive.
Smooth.
And I hope that it stays like that is like actual...
And that was pre-alpha footage. So
yes.
It could change a lot. It can get even better.
Which is awesome. Yeah. And then you had Project Athia, which is Luminous Productions and Square Enix. It's a exclusive PS5 game. So very interesting. This is the game that Rogue One Star Wars story writer Gary Whitta is working on as well. So I told you
it looked good. We didn't see much of it, but definitely looks interesting.
Yep, definitely thought it was gonna be a Final Fantasy game when it started off. It looked very Final Fantasy-esque.
That's a compliment right there. Like, oh, is this a Final Fantasy? Yeah.
It was very awesome. I'm intrigued by what it is, but it doesn't even have an actual title yet, so who knows? Then we got Stray by Blue 12 and Annapurna Interactive for 2021. This was the cat moving around a robotic society.
Yeah, it's aesthetic.
Yeah,
it's cool.
I was like, all right. I don't know what this game is going to be, but sure. And then we got Returnal by Housemarque, and it's also published by Sony. So this was similar to Deathloop that we'll talk about later, but you're stuck in a time loop on this alien world that is coming after you and fucking up your mind. Housemarque known for just really good like arcade style gameplay. So interesting to see them like a third-person action game, but I'm very intrigued.
Yeah. I think it had some first-person to it. I don't know if it had like different, but it was third-person mainly, right?
Yeah. Did you saw some first-person perspective in the?
There was some first-person perspective in like some of the trailer parts, but it was third-person mainly, like showing you through them.
I'm fighting these big Goliath monsters and.
Yep.
And I thought, it looks really trippy, and I hope it's a little kind of like that Resident Evil style of horror, almost like Dead Space, where it is a little trippy, but you also don't feel utterly powerless. So I'm very intrigued by what that game could be. Then you had kind of an interesting Sackboy: A Big Adventure, which is Sumo Digital's game off the Little Big Planet series.
But why not use the name? That's the one thing I don't understand.
I wonder if this game is not about building levels. If this is just their 3D platformer.
And they just didn't want to use Little Big Planet?
Yeah. Okay. That's kind of where I'm...
Sackboy, huh?
Really, what a name. What a name. So it was interesting to see that pop back up in kind of an IP that I thought they were just going to let die. So...
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, no Knack. I was very surprised we did not get a Knack 3.
No Knack.
The internet mourns. Then another interesting exclusive was Destruction All-Stars, which was this car combat. Looked kind of like a Fusion Frenzy. Yeah, Twisted Metal Fusion Frenzy.
A little friendlier.
Interesting.
Yes, just interesting. Like,
It could be really fun, but also it has a terrible name, and that makes me nervous. So then we have Kenya, Bridge of Spirits, which we were very into, which was by Ember Labs. So it was kind of like, I guess, a Pixar-ish movie. What'd you think?
Ember Labs is a like film and production company that like I guess is moving into games.
Yeah, I guess
so. And ooh, man, the trailer was beautiful. We were awesome. Like, I was hooked.
Yeah, you were like a wizard with a staff, and it looked like kind of I called it Pikmin, like Sony's Pikmin, where she had all these little black creatures like coming around with her.
Little cute little black creatures, sprites. Yeah.
So it looks fun.
I'm excited for them.
Then I think we had our highlight of our show, which was Goodbye Volcano High. Is Volcano High a thing?
I don't know, but you were excited right when it started, and then you're like, nope.
Yep. I was really into it in the beginning. I was like, oh, is this going to be like a night in the woods? And then it was like, oh, this looks even more moody than a night in the woods. No, thank you. It was by KO OP Mode. I don't know them very well. Coming out in 2020. Then you have Oddworld Soulstorm. It's another Oddworld.
Trailer was insane. Like, just a lot going on. Like, it was like, man, is like I feel like I have to save the world, or what's going on here? Like, but the gameplay didn't really match what the story was saying. I don't know.
Yeah, it was a little weird, and it felt like almost isolating for someone that doesn't know Oddworld very well. I was like, I don't understand what is happening. Am I controlling all these people? It was very strange.
Yeah, is this some like Trials kind of Get through, beat this one part. I don't know.
That's what I was wondering, if it was like a repeat kind of try again game, but I don't know. Then I think I had my disappointment of the show, which was Ghostwire Tokyo from Tango Gameworks and Bethesda. I don't think it looks very good.
No.
A horror game, but in that first person, like kind of weird magician combat. A lot of fingers.
Compared to the first trailer, nothing like what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Like when this one came out, it was like, man, this looks like some project type game. Like, this doesn't really work well if what they were going for. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't understand. I don't know. Maybe it will be better and interesting, but the horror element to then also this magic, and in first person, I felt like it just didn't jive with it. And then the graphic fidelity of the game was noticeably lower than every project we'd seen before this.
Which I was concerned. Is it a PS4 game or is it a PS5 game? I don't know.
Yeah, is it exclusive? Is it cross? Well, we'll talk about exclusive in a minute, because I have something on Deathloop as well, which we'll just talk about now. I think was a good time.
Okay.
So Deathloop was announced later in the show, also from Bethesda, which is maybe my highlight of the show.
That looked great.
This game looks awesome. Yeah, a lot of Dishonored.
Has a Dishonored feel.
Much more comedic. The style of like a 1960s noir movie almost, like the graphics, and I was very into it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, and I like that it looks like the stealth is a little lessened than like Prey and Dishonored, and I always felt like in Prey especially I was very underpowered and like not able
Prey,
to do stuff.
You're always underpowered and try to like get ammo and try to like be able to do stuff, but you're never like OP or better.
And this game made it look a little more like you're gonna walk in and just fuck shit up. And obviously the premise.
I love doing that. Yep.
Yeah,
assassin gameplay. Oof.
Looks really cool. So this is the interesting thing that I learned after the show. But according to the PlayStation blog, Deathloop and Ghostwire will be console launch exclusives.
Okay.
So they will not be on Xbox Series X. They will be on PC, but as of right now, I guess not. The other thing is, according to the PlayStation blog, and I'm going to read you the quote because this is how I perceive it. Welcome to Deathloop, Arcane Leon's new immersive first-person shooter coming to consoles exclusively for PS5 when it launches this holiday season. So it sounds like we're getting Deathloop this year.
Yeah, I think that's how it sounds. This holiday season.
It's just weird they didn't have a date in the trailer.
Maybe it was just made before like everything got like pushed. I don't know.
Yeah, or just kind of odd.
Now they're definitive.
So interesting to get some Bethesda games exclusive and not on Xbox Series X right away. That's different.
Yeah.
Then you had Jet: The Far Shore by Super Brothers and Pine Scented, which you knew Pine Scented, I guess, right?
Yeah. Which then I knew the music as well.
Okay.
SCNTFC, Scientific basically. They make some really good like type of mood noir music. Like there's one song that I always keep that just like I don't know, like it makes you feel stuff. Like that's their niche, is they like enhance whatever they their music is used on. One of them is Home Resonance? It's like a future synth kind of song. They have one song like similar to that, and they kind of blew up a little bit with future synth, and then they moved into sort of like background type music. But the music was good in the trailer. What
did you think of this trailer? This piloting this starship around.
Again, we were talking about it. It was like, is this like a No Man's Sky kind of thing, or is this gonna do anything? I don't know.
I mean, I bet it's gonna be.
What's the point? What's the objective? Show me some.
It just looked weird.
I don't want free exploration. It's just not fun.
That's how I felt, especially I think compared to some of the like other indie games that were revealed later on. It was like this did absolutely nothing for me. That's coming this holiday season as well, along with Godfall, which is from Counterplay Games, published by Gearbox. My disappointment
of the show. Of the Godfall, like compared to the first trailer we saw or like announcement, it was like, oh man, this is gonna be sick. And we saw this, and it's just the music doesn't really fit with the aesthetic, and it was like, what are they trying to do here? Is this
I would agree.
Of like MMO type grindy thing, or like I don't know.
Yeah, because
it didn't really fit.
They've compared it as like a social loot slasher, so it's like a Destiny-ish kind of game, but melee combat. The style I think was really odd of this like heavy like hip hop rap along with like these medieval knights fighting demons. And I didn't feel like it fit. And then my biggest concern, I don't know if you felt this way, but the gameplay that was shown looked very smooth, but it almost looked like when you see an ad for a mobile game and the mobile game shows like a pre-rendered gameplay of like what it is, and you're like, is that really what this game looks like?
So I watched a trailer. Someone did an analysis of the 60 FPS and they found that it was not entirely 60 FPS. Some of the fight scenes were like cut to like 45 or less.
Oh, interesting.
So it just wasn't smooth 60 the whole time, which is why it may have not looked jarring. It probably could definitely run 60 the whole time, but it was just weird how they did the trailer. Like something was lost in some of the fights, but it wasn't 60 the whole way through, basically what was found. That's why like sometimes you saw like when it was attacking people, it was like, wait, it's like skipping a frame or two, which odd.
Yeah, that's odd.
But not worried, like because it definitely looks like it can handle it. It wasn't like too impressive with the graphics, but
yeah, that's what I was thinking. It just looked to me, it looked very bland.
Yeah.
Then you had another, I think, just highlight of this was Solar Ash by Heart Machine.
Yes.
Coming out 2021, which is the people that did Hyper Life Drifter. Thoughts? Anything?
Love the trailer.
Major?
Like it was a really quick trailer, but you could tell like, oh, you know where this game's going.
Mm-hmm. And seeing the perspective has shifted a little bit. Instead of top down, it's now third person. Yep. Very exciting. Hitman 3 from IOI Interactive, January 2021. It's more Hitman. Yep, doing their thing.
They had some gameplay again, another gameplay trailer, and again, stop using this term when it's not gameplay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure really... it is an engine, but
yeah,
I was a little disappointed by that, but it looks fine. It's more Hitman. I don't jive with it as well as most people.
I haven't played much, so
yeah. You had, I think, my most confusing one was Astro's Playroom, which is Astrobot.
Yes.
Is this PSVR? Is this not PSVR? Very weird. What is this?
I don't know.
Little Devil Inside. This, I think we talked highly of this from NeoStream. It is that claymation, almost looking monster hunting game.
I loved it.
Dude.
The aesthetic is nice.
I just want to know what it is, because the trailer was so intriguing. I was like, what is the gameplay like? What's the loop? Is it open world? Yeah. What is it? It looked really cool.
Definitely want to focus on that game.
Yeah. And then you had NBA 2K21, which was... The sweat looked good.
The sweat looked good. That's it. The sweat looked good, guys.
Oof, I lost sweat.
And the ball made it in the basket.
He tore down the basket at the end.
Oh, yeah. There was a reflection on the basket, some ray tracing. So,
yeah, oof. And you could see the little particle. Oh, the sweat, man. That's what got me. I was like, this is the next gen sweat technology we've been waiting for. Let's get it.
Yep.
Yeah, whatever. It's NBA, sure.
Another NBA game.
Bug Snacks, James, from Young Horses, who made... Octodad.
Yeah, I don't know. It just... What was that?
What was this game? It's a Viva Pinata, but with food.
And then, like, the ending was, like, scary for some reason. Like, what is going... It was just a weird trailer.
That trailer made me uncomfortable about halfway through. Yes. I was like, I don't like this.
Like, do I have a phobia now? Like, eat food and turn into food? I don't know.
Yeah, it was weird. At one point, a character said he had weenie hands. That joke got me, but weird.
Yeah.
And that's coming out holiday 2020. Then you had Demon Souls Remake from Blue Point Studios.
This looked good.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Yeah.
Demon Souls. It's finally coming. People who love the Souls series and probably never started with Demon Souls, the original, now they come back and play it.
Yeah, and it's Blue Point who did an amazing remake of Shadow of the Colossus, of Uncharted. So trust these guys. They're really good. I'm excited to see what they have in store with Demon Souls. Obviously, we talked about Deathloop. Looks fantastic. Can't wait. Then we had a game called The Village, but then the I and the two L's shifted.
Yep.
And we got 8. So
At first, I was like, 8. What is this trailer? It's like, is it skipping? Is the frames? With the frames? And then I was like, wait a second. Oh, this aesthetic.
Yeah.
And then we saw a little special character at the end.
Yeah. We saw Chris Redfield.
Yep. We saw Chris. So interesting how this is going to develop.
2021. It looks like it's first person. Just like Resident Evil 7.
It is Resident Evil 8. It's just the VIII.
Yeah. Which I love that they do this now. Now what are they going to do for 9? Because you got to have an IX word, so that's going to be interesting. I saw someone tweet that it's going to be called Grand Prix because you can do the IX.
Yes.
And it's like about a racing zombie. Whatever.
I like it.
Looked fine. Looked interesting. We'll see. Then you had Pragmata, the Capcom game.
Yes.
Which looked very Death Stranding, Kojima-like-ish, weird sci-fi.
Yes. At first we thought it was like a Dead Space type.
Or Dead Space, yeah.
We weren't sure if... And then it was like interesting. I don't know.
Yeah, the guy had shot out a net from... The girl scanned a demon, shot out a net. Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird.
Capcom.
I'm excited. We'll see what it is. And then they ended the show with Horizon Forbidden West from Guerrilla coming sometime.
Big hitter. Looked amazing.
Yeah.
It's going to slam it out.
Oh, my God. San Francisco, it showed. Rundown San Francisco. A few other places, I think, but probably going to be mainly San Francisco, which is awesome.
Yeah. But it looked beautiful, and
yeah,
it's going to be good.
I can't wait for that game.
No announcement though, right? Like no
date.
Whether or not, we don't know if it's, yeah.
I would have sworn that was going to be launched, but I didn't expect a Spider-Man game at launch, so clearly that's... I would think that Horizon's got to be 2021, like their big game.
Yeah.
Like fall game, probably.
Maybe.
My guess. But I thought that was very exciting. They ended the show with that, and then they ended the show with this long graphic to unveil the console, and it's white with the blue, and looks really cool. I'm very excited for it. So, what did you think overall about the presentation? What do you think we should have seen that we didn't see maybe, and what's next?
Didn't see anything about like another God of War.
Yep.
I feel like there was some stuff kept in reserve that hopefully we'll find out more later, which should be fine.
Yeah.
I just like that what PlayStation does is they showcase like everything. There's nothing like, oh, we're only showing AAAs, we're only showing AAA companies. They're showing these indie games, these weird ones, even though we were like, what is this? I think that's the beauty of PlayStation. Like they really care about their developers and what they're doing, and they're showcasing it all. And I like the aesthetic of the show, like the way it ran, the transitions, like kind of building up to the reveal.
Yeah.
I like when you have like, here's what this is about, here's what we're showing you, and then we get to the reveal. That's a cool thing. Again, it's sad like you don't get to actually see the people and it's all recordings, but still was hype.
Right, still great. I was really stoked about it. I guess I'm bummed I didn't see. I thought they were gonna tease like one final like big game. Like I really thought this was gonna end with like a God of War, like maybe just the drums, and then you see Kratos and Thor crash, and it says God of War 2. But the thing that I'm still just amazed with Sony, and I really want Microsoft to be able to have this as well, because that good competition is. They have these first-party studios that are obviously incredible, and Naughty Dog their game comes out in like 5 days, right, or whatever it is, and then Ghost of Tsushima comes out next from Sucker Punch, and that's like two of their main developers, and they were still able to unveil their new console without either of those guys showing that, and I think that's like super special about the console lineup that they can build with just their first-party studios.
Yeah, we were talking at the beginning of the show, just like how much PlayStation is ahead of Xbox in terms of original IPs and all this stuff, which is interesting how this happened. Like, how did this happen? Are they...
Right. Well,
how did PlayStation get all this and Xbox is left with Halo and Gears?
Well, that hype montage that they showed in the beginning, right, that showed like all these and it highlighted a lot of Uncharted, a lot of Horizon and stuff, but like highlighting all of their exclusives and the games that like mean so much to us, Final Fantasy and everything. And then it's like, you look over the other side, and I love Microsoft, I love Halo, it's one of my favorite franchises, but it's like, it's kind of all you got is that and like Gears and like Forza, which is not for everybody. Like that's not a wide like spread appeal for gamers like me. So it's like I want them to have these other studios that obviously they've acquired many other studios to try to be competitive, but we'll see.
Yeah, but over 25 years, and like you see when that first like they played the original PlayStation sound, and then it like went through, and I was like, oh
yeah,
it was so many good stuff has come from PlayStation, and so much more is going to come out. So. Definitely a good event. Really proud of what they did.
Are you getting a PlayStation 5?
I'm definitely getting a PlayStation 5.
What could be the one thing that limits you from getting it? Like, how expensive would it have to be?
Money? No. Yeah. I don't think price is going to be paid for me. It would have in the past. Mm-hmm. And I'm probably going to go all the way, like, whatever, bells and whistle. I do not think, though, I'm going to get an Xbox, though.
I'm now in the same boat.
We'll see what they have in their event, but there's just too much coming for PlayStation, and there's too much they're doing that I don't see Xbox doing.
Yeah, I would agree right now with that.
Xbox is really like teaming up with PC, and it's like, okay, well, if they're doing more Game Pass stuff, I'm just gonna keep doing.
Yeah, I mean, if I can play Halo on my PC, it doesn't have to be this. I don't have a great rig, so it's like
if Halo Infinite's coming out, like what? Yeah. I mean,
interesting. I'm very excited for the next gen. I cannot wait for PlayStation 5. We don't know when it's coming out. We don't know the price. We don't know the release date. Any of that, but we will soon. They've announced they're going to talk about more games. And everything.
Wait, one last thing. I hate that it's white.
Oh, really? I like it.
Oh, no, I want it black, but it's fine. It's going to get scuffed, and you're going to see all the parts.
Mine's going in my cabinet anyways. I won't see it, so it doesn't really matter.
True.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for watching the Side Escape Game Report for June 12th. Have a wonderful week.